Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the FPL Affairs podcast, the podcast that strips back and lays bare our season-long love affair with FPL. In our latest team selections video for game week 6, we discussed the latest wildcard drafts from Magpie and HIPPO. How do they compare to each other? And the content creators template? Weasel also outlines the fires he has to put out in his squad, with at least 3 admin members activating their wildcard this week. Will Weasel cave and join them? Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for all of our content, and hit that bell to be notified each time we release something new. Anyway, enough of my small talk. Let's get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Oh, Saka! That is a diamond of a goal.
Greetings everybody to our game week 6 transfers was our last video. This is our team selections video for game week 6 with me, Matt, aka the FPL Affairs Magpie, and as usual for our team selections video, I'm joined with Paul, aka the FPL Affairs Weasel. How are you going into game week 6?
I'm good. I was feeling very confident. So obviously, a couple of injuries have come up midweek. So I was feeling quite smug and thinking I could get away with not wildcarding this week. But I might have to join you wildcarders.
Ooh, that's a bit of a
But
spoiler. Right, in which...
I'm just waiting for team news tomorrow, really.
Oh, sensible shout. Waiting for the manager's press conferences and then see what we can learn or interpret or translate from those. So now you've said that, I want to look at your team, the number of different ones I've seen this week. So we'll skip to it. Right, so our team selections game week 6, which unsurprisingly, we've still got Salah and Haaland as the main thumbnails. Are you having both? Are you switching from Salah to Haaland? Are you some crazy person that is having neither? We shall see. Right.
Yep, I'm that crazy person.
Right. Talk us through your current team selection, how it's looking for game week number 6, that should say. So ignore that typo at the top. Game week 6 team selection, it should say.
Right, for week 6, now I'm going for Sanchez and goal at home to Brighton. Obviously, it's a bit of a risk that he might get dropped now after his silly red cards. And obviously, he said in the press conference that he might rotate his keepers. My back three would be Porro at home to Wolves, Milankovic at home to Sunderland, but obviously he got a knock and came off in the 94th minute last night. He's not currently flagged, but obviously it's put me in a bit of a pickle. And my third defenders, Senesi away to Leeds. My midfield 4 is Palmer, again another injury doubt, at home to Brighton, but he's been injured before and he's played. So it's holding tight and listening for the press conference tomorrow. We've got Sunderland at home, Manson at home, Sunderland. My transfer this week was Semenyo, which I did early on Saturday because I originally had Wirtz, who just had to go after last week's horror show. And Semenyo's obviously got multiple routes to points. Now he got DEFCONs last week.
Yeah, he did. Did you did you do proper knee-jerk transfer straight after the Merseyside derby then? Or even
Yeah, I had to do it straight away because the price changes. And I knew Semenyo wouldn't be playing midweek, so there was no chance he'd get injured. So it's pretty safe to do it. So as it is, I think I've saved 0.3 million by doing it early.
Oh yeah, because of
Work's going down, yeah,
and Semenya going up.
Again. It might even go down and up one more time before Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be crazy with swing with just those 2 players alone.
Yeah, there's a common swing, I think, this week.
Last of your starting lineup.
But it's Bruno's my last midfielder, who's my vice captain, away to Brentford, and my forward 3 is Bowen away to Everton, which I said in the previous video, he's been my highest point scoring player in this season, which I was quite surprised about. I'm one of the idiots who's keeping faith with Woods at home to Sunderland this week. He's surely got to score. And same with my third striker, Fulham, Watkins at home to Fulham. And that they're both in last chance saloon for me. And if they don't perform this week, I might have to seriously consider the wild card next week.
Hmm.
And my bench at the moment is Dubravka away to Man City. I've got Dorgu away to Brentford. So if Milankovic doesn't play, I've got not a bad backup defender. And my second bench player is King away to Aston Villa. So again, he could step in for Palmer, but I think Barry said in the group chat he's only had one chance in the 5 games he's played. So he's proving why he's a 4.5 million attacker.
Hmm.
And my last bench place, unfortunately, is Ronaldo, who's suspended for this game after his silly 2 yellow cards last week. I
Yeah.
know he got straight red, didn't he?
Hmm. Yeah. Was it a silly reaction, overreaction to something?
I think it was a silly challenge, but
Hmm. Either way, he's got a red card, and
I was never intended playing him this week, so
hmm.
not a big deal.
Captaincy, you've gone with Semenyo with Bruno Weiss.
Uh, yeah, obviously Semenyo's got several routes to go. Hopefully Kluivert doesn't start, so he's still got the penalties option as well. But it's a close call between both of them. As I said in the previous video, I think they could both get double points this week.
Hmm.
And hopefully I get it right for once. Who would you pick?
Out of those, well, the Palmer situation needs addressing. Fixtures wise, I wouldn't trust Watkins. I wouldn't trust Wood. I wouldn't trust Bowen, especially against Everton, because their defence is it's not certainly not the worst. Um, Anderson will get the DEFCON likely.
I
Um,
haven't got Anderson.
yes, you have. You've got him
Oh,
in
no,
the,
yeah, yeah.
in
Oh, sorry, I
midfield.
think I put
Different one,
Anderson. Yeah.
Elliot Anderson, and he'll be
Uh-huh.
motivated. Newcastle born and bred fan, playing away to Sunderland, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, I think really Semenyo and Fernandez are the obvious ones. I think I'd
So
probably have
Nessie's
it.
an outside chance.
True, actually. Yeah, but I'd possibly do Bruno captain and Semenyo vice. I think simply because Brentford's defence are worse than Leeds' defence. I think that would be my reason behind it. Otherwise, it'll be whoever. Do you think like because you said you've already you made the knee-jerk transfer, and it was just that one free transfer that you had, right?
Yeah, every week I seem to be putting out fires in my team. I've had to do a transfer every week, and
Yeah.
that's I'm not going to build up any transfers.
So will you? You said you're considering you might join the wild card parade. Would you consider a hit just to like replace Palmer?
Obviously, Palmer's not the only issue in my team, but so yeah, I could just do a hit and get Saka, of outside punt on the Burma. He's got two
Mm.
great fixtures coming up. But yeah, I'm waiting on the team news for tomorrow. If we get any inkling that Woods is not going to start and Milankovic is out and Palmer's definitely out, I think I'm going to have to wild card.
Yeah, because Wood's
So I'll be
been
down to 10.
with Wood being obviously well rested in the cup matches and his replacement um scoring both times. It's
Yeah, he looked good in the
uh,
Club World Cup as well, so he deserves to start, I think.
mm,
He's not had a good enough chance at Forest so far.
mm. So that's your starting squad, which what do you think the likelihood is of it changing?
As I said, if two of them get injured,
Mm,
two more other than Palmer, I'd have to wild card. But if
mm.
it's one more, I'm quite happy playing Dorgu at home to away to Brentford.
So final question then before we move on to Kieran's wild card that's up next. Um, if you if the shouts tomorrow from the press conferences went against you, How many of these players do you think? Which of these players do you think you'd keep if you did activate the wild card?
Senesi, Semenyo, Bruno, Bowen I'd keep because I think they've got some good fixtures coming up.
Okay,
And
he'd be a bit, he'd be a big differential for that. So I imagine he's one of the reasons why, one of the many players why people are wild carding. So he'll be a low differential if you kept him on wild card.
uh,
Sorry, I interrupted.
yeah, Porro I'll probably go for Romero or Van de Ven instead because just cheaper.
Mm.
And Ronaldo's actually been all right apart from getting sent off last week. And I think I'll keep him. And that they've done all right at Sunderland. No, he's been a good 4 million option for me. So it's six, isn't it? I think I make that.
So what did you say? Senesi, Bruno, Semenyo, Bowen, Ronaldo,
So it's
and
five.
Dubravka. Six?
Um, yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Quite a few changes then. Nine. We'll see how many I've made. Right,
On my
moving on.
ranks, it just says it has to be done, doesn't it?
Mm,
There's 6.1 million. There must be
yeah.
some massive problems in my team.
Mm. Right. So this is how the FPL affairs Hippo Kieran is how his wild card is currently shaping up, but he does suspect he may make changes tomorrow. So I think we'll both sort of chit chat, skim through this. I'll read the team out and then you give your initial thoughts because obviously I'll do a lot more thinking on my team, but then you've just done a lot of talking on yours. So Kieran currently stands with Raya and Dubravka as the goalkeeping pairing. In defence, he's got currently starting Gabriel away to Newcastle, Van de Ven at home to Wolves, and Senesi away to Leeds. With the two defenders on his bench, he's got a Stev of Burnley still away to Man City, and Sunderland's Mukiele, possibly, if I've pronounced that right or roughly right. He's
Uh,
interesting shout because he's started 3 games for Sunderland and he's reached DEFCON in all 3 of them. He's got an average of I think 14 I saw earlier, 4.0 million, another one. So I'll be intrigued as to whether what if people wildcarding, if they do take any Sunderland assets, whether they will go with him like Kieran or whether they will stick with Reinildo like you. Midfield, he's got Reinders, Semenyo, and Bruno, the main popular 3. He's then got Anthony of Burnley. He's got okay. I'll come to that first thought when it gets to mine if you don't already mention it. And his final fifth midfielder, the fourth one that he's starting with, is Phil Foden. So his starting 4 midfield in a 3-4-3 is Bruno, Foden, Semenyo, and Reinders. And then up front, he's gone with João Pedro, captaining Erling Haaland, and he's trying to keep faith with Chris Wood. Chris Wood is his third forward. So, first thoughts from you.
yeah, he's only planning to keep Woods for 1 week, isn't he? And then going up to Gokares.
Mm, so at least he
So
comprehends that Gyökeres is basically likely to do nothing at Newcastle.
uh, I personally wouldn't go triple Burnley.
Yeah, that was the thing
I'd
that
spread the risk.
when I was reading it out and mentioned Anthony, I was like, oh my word, he's got triple put Burnley.
But he
Uh,
said in the group chat he's doing that for his bench boost in week 8.
who have they got in week 8? I can't think off the top of my head. They've probably got
Sunderland's, isn't it? Oh, no, it's Leeds, isn't it? They got Leeds at home.
mm,
But as I
risque.
said to him, I'd go for Leeds. I'd get a Leeds defender in.
I think probably what a lot of people the first part of the season they had Dubravka and Stev, largely because of the possibility of what bench boost in what was it game week 4 when they had Sunderland at home that did
I believe so.
yeah that did okay. But I think really going forward, bearing in mind the sort of lengthy period where we go. where we're committed with the bulk of the same squad. Um, I certainly think as Dubravka's the mainstay backup keeper across the game, I'd say any budget midfielder, fifth midfielder or fifth defender, um, is to spread it. So as in Dubravka's your Burnley asset, then go with the Leeds asset as either the third forward, so with Calvert-Lewin, for example, um, or the likes of Stack in midfield or Rodon, Goodmanson in defence. But we're going off the point because Kieran hasn't got any of them. It was more just in response to how we feel he's bonkers going triple Burnley. Um,
But Anthony has been brilliant, so I totally understand why he picked him.
true, true. And Leeds haven't been scoring freely. So
Hmm.
to be fair, his crystal ball may be working, and it may have shown him and given him a clear insight into how Burnley do against Leeds in game week 8. I think you said it was, didn't you? Game week 8.
Yeah, it was game week 8.
Have um have you heard of the Mukiele um stat that I just mentioned, or him at all?
I had last night. I've saw it on another podcast that someone else is putting it in their wildcard team,
I think
but that
FP,
but
I think FPL Focal might have done as well, possibly.
and it's on black box. But
Mm,
yeah, he seems to be pretty nailed now. He's started the last 3 games. He wasn't initially first choice, but Ballard's got injured. So and yeah, looks brilliant. There's another option. There's another 4 million DEFCON defender.
mm. Um, any other thoughts that spring to mind about the team other than the triple Burnley and that he's got his planned Wood to Gyökeres transfer penciled in for next week? Anything else?
He's gone for the double up on Arsenal, isn't he? But it's very copycat, and obviously the stats suggest it is the way to go.
Mm,
So, and I
yeah,
think Foden's a good outside pump.
yeah. But then I've been thinking Foden during the week, which will go on to mine in a moment. Um, but then the fact that he got so many minutes in the Carabao Cup, even though he got what goal and an assist, you just know what Pep's like. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Foden's benched at the weekend.
Yeah, I totally agree. As I've been saying in the Facebook group and the group chat, I wouldn't be surprised if Haaland was benched as well.
That's why we almost thought, and I'll put a separate sort of trailer video for our 100th episode because we did have a special banter, jokey themed episode where, well, apt to give a taster, shout it out because since Kieran appeared on his first appearance on the podcast, which was last season around about game week 34, and he'd been top of the admin league for the whole season. His luck then turned down, and he seems to have in his head that I laid a curse on him so that his FPL returns would be dire, which they have been from that point on, and how he has started this season. So we're effectively going to court where he's accusing me of that, and I'm going to have to defend myself. So yeah, but it's very much a jokey, bantery type episode, just to honour the fact that we've got to 100. Um,
But the curse is real.
you're on the real side.
Uh,
Mm. So
and I
and
believe for ex co-host Jack was on our side as well.
interesting, interesting. So what you'll have to do if we record on one of the days where you are at work, you will have to send me or Kieran or whatever a video with you providing your or justifying your opinion that the curse is real. Don't go into it now. We'll save that for that video. We've got more things, pressing things to shout about. So yeah, really looking forward to making that video. And it's other than the fact that we've decided it's going to be courtroom setting, him accusing me of laying that, the rest of it is completely, we'll just be going with it in the episode. So it should be a laugh and a bit of fun. Right, okay. Getting back to this video, if you've got any particular comments about FPL Affairs Hippos wildcard, then drop it in the video, and we will move on to mine.
Yeah, good luck, Kieran.
Yes, or no, or maybe not. Who knows? We
No,
shall
Team
see.
Kieran.
Mm. So mine, I've, as said in our what talking points wildcard special the other day, I put out Haaland and Palmer draft, which I made when I decided I might wildcard in game week 6, and that was actually before the game week 5 deadline, which was why Palmer was in it. So I thought, well, I'll still put that in the video, which I did. Then I followed it up with a Haaland and Salah draft, which surprisingly looked okay. And Paul, you mentioned about the template one in our last video that there's not really any DEFCON midfielders. I kind of found when I made the Haaland and Salah one that really you needed to fill out that midfield with DEFCON midfielders, so the likes of Gravenberch, Caicedo, notably. You've still applicable for Anderson of Nottingham Forest. Those sorts of players that are picking up DEFCON points regularly in midfield, they kind of had to fill the slots, and I think I actually went or put down as Calvert-Lewin as the third forward. But anyway, that's those ones. The one I'm sort of floating on at the moment, which I was, to be honest, when I saw the content creators template-ish one earlier today, my heart kind of did sink a bit because I had seven of the attacking eight that they had, seven were the same, and defenders, I think three were the same, as well as the goalkeeping. So I had like 12 the same, which got me thinking about whether to consider alternatives that I had been considering anyway. So I'll read it through. Raya, to I switched to Raya because I was initially on Donnarumma, and I'll explain that in a moment, with Dubravka on my bench. My back five, I'm starting the game provisionally the weekend 3-4-3 formation. I've got starting Senesi of Bournemouth away to Leeds, Anderson of Fulham away to Aston Villa, just because of Fulham being reasonably solid in defence, Anderson getting DEFCON pretty much every week, and Villa struggling to score. And then Tarkowski, who's at home to West Ham, and he's got DEFCON in all five fixtures. Then on the bench, I've got Richards of Crystal Palace and Mukiele of Sunderland, like Kieran had, but he's more a 4.0 placeholder. He could easily go to Goodmanson or Rodon or another 4.0. And Richards in because of his DEFCON potential and how well Palace defended. And the idea with these going with DEFCON picks is to hopefully mean that any transfers I've got for the long term, I can concentrate on just the attacking players. Which going through those attacking players, well, before I move on to that, I've been talking for a moment. What are your thoughts on the back five and the goalkeepers?
As I said in the previous video, Anderson and Richards, they've got the worst two fixtures coming up in the next 6 games. So obviously you're going to have to really rely heavily on their DEFCON points.
Mm. The Certainly before I do lock them in before Saturday's deadline, there's a FPL fixture rotation planner which is available for free online website. So I've looked at, and you can select which clubs you're interested in defenders for, or players. It's not necessarily defender specific. How many players you're looking for, how many of them are to actually start to play, and which clubs you're considering, and then it will give you which ones rotate the nicest, which combination. So I will be checking that with these five defenders, and if it looks dire, then I'll look at how I can tweak it.
No Spurs defenders surprises me as well.
Yeah, and no Arsenal defender either. No
Yep.
Arsenal double up. And the
Into
reason
your own
being,
team as well.
the reason being was I went against Newcastle, well, not necessarily against, and didn't go with the Arsenal double up, largely because of this weekend's fixture. So I did have Donnarumma in goal and Gabriel in defence, but then when we move on to the attackers, it got to the juggling about of funds, and you will notice at the screen because generated this image from FPL team. It says in the bank it's a negative 0.3, but I have put this side in transfers on the official website, and it's the exact money. Right, so in midfield, I've got as what seems to be the template of Semenyo, Reinders, and Dye. Also stack as what's said to be the content creator's preferable 5.0. But the fifth midfielder, I've put in Saka as opposed to Bruno Fernandes. Reason being, I did want Arsenal attacking representation with their fixtures coming up, and I decided to go against Gyökeres. And the reason I went against Gyökeres is from the templates floating around, people generally have no Liverpool coverage. So I've actually braved with this template and currently have Isak as one of my three forwards alongside Haaland and João Pedro. Captaincy on Haaland, vice captaincy on Ndiaye. So that's where this was at, and it was largely the main difference. As said, I wanted Arsenal attacking coverage, so I went with Saka as opposed to Gyökeres, and that enabled me to buy some budget saving here and there. Get Isak in as opposed to Gyökeres, and I will give some aspect of credit and acknowledgement, otherwise he'll throw a tantrum, to the FPL Affairs master, as he was known last season, who's sadly not an admin this season. So he's not necessarily an animal name at the moment, although it would be useful to actually see if we can think of one. But anyway, I'm going off the point. So his thoughts when he wildcards in either game week 7 or game week 8 is to go with Isak and probably Saka. But he is starting to get concerned about whether he'll be able to afford it. So, but speaking to him just sort of confirmed to me about how to be different from slightly different from the template. Right, I'm blubbering and wasting time. So give me your thoughts on how it looks at the moment, other than the defence, which you've just mentioned.
Yeah, it's definitely right. You definitely need to have a Liverpool attacker, the number one in all the stats, and that. And so many teams are going without a Liverpool attacker, which makes no sense at all. Saka would normally be my number one choice to pick for my FPL team. So hopefully he can recover his form from the last previous seasons. And yeah, you can't really fault your front eight at all. Looking very strong, and I'm surprised you could afford them all. Have Saka, Haaland, and Isak in the same team.
Well, it's as I said, it's the two most expensive attackers, and João Pedro has been the one on the best form this season. But the main reason, and I think my main fault for this site is you said about you're surprised how I managed to afford it, and it's because you look at the five defenders, Tarkowski's 5.5, Senesi 4.7, Anderson 4.5, Richards 4.5, and Mukiele is 4.0. So that's where, because my team values taken some hammering over the last few weeks because I've been a bit too patient with some players who've dropped in price and not jumped on early enough with others that have risen in price, which is why really I haven't got an Arsenal defender of 6.0. I've had to get an extra 4.5 to compensate.
I don't think you need it. You've got Defcons covered. You've got a great balance to the side.
That's also the thought I've said, is that although like clean sheets are double the points of Defcon, they're 4 points as opposed to 2. It's thinking, right, would you have, what would you think is potentially more points, a combo of say longer term, Isak and Richards or Gabriel and Gyökeres. Lots of people are probably me saying that will go, I'll go double up those the two Arsenal ones over that.
Yeah, I think the majority would, but it's hard to judge how Isak's going to do for Liverpool.
Mm,
Uh,
I've got no,
everyone's reckons it's going to be brilliant, and
he
I've got
will
my
want.
eye on him.
Yeah, I just thought with the Ekatike situation and him playing an hour during the week, um, I think he'll. No, he didn't. He didn't get an hour. He played 45 minutes, but then he was doing sprints at half time. And Ekatike was an idiot in the second half. Apologies,
Uh,
Ekatike owners. So
yeah,
that's
he's
that.
definitely starting this week.
Yeah, definitely. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's partly a let's see how long he can last. But then there is Champions League next season. Not next season, next week. Although there will be Champions League next season as well anyway. Um, yeah, so that's where I'm at. The main debate is do I stick with Saka and Isak or do I go Bruno, who's done all right with me this season so far, and Gyökeres up front. So I think one of my worries, which 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 led to me looking at this combo, is the faith in the Newcastle defence over Gyökeres, Haaland being flagged, and if João Pedro has had niggles this week as well. So worst case scenario, I'd have a striker blanking and two potentially injured, although Haaland's been pitched in training. So that's where I'm at. Any comments, please make in the comments below. If you think my team is amazing, please say that in the comments below. If you think you must be mad going without double Arsenal defence, then put that in as well. But either way, like the video, subscribe to the channel for all of our content, and if you click the bell, then you should get some sort of notification when a new episode drops, and keep an eye out for the 100 special courtroom edition and whether you, Paul, and Kieran have got any sufficient evidence to persuade the viewers who are going to be the jury and the executioners.
We have plenty.
Oh, really? Now I am intrigued.
You have to wait to see the episode to hear it.
But if Haaland is not benched and Hall's this weekend, bearing in mind you've been adamant all week that Haaland's going to be rested and benched, which is why certain, and you've been saying that right since last weekend, which was why we really considered, um, barring Weasel, barring you from the courtroom, um, citing mental health reasons. Um,
We will see.
we
Now,
will.
Pep needs to relax. You can never
Mm.
know.
But just to point out, though, on a serious note, please be mindful of your mental health with this game because it can be deemed by many as quite addictive, which
Yeah,
is
it
why I'm
definitely
trying.
is.
It is.
So yeah, it's been nice to have a week of not worrying about my team
Mm,
and then having the dilemmas of wildcarding.
where I've had the dilemmas of wildcarding, making extra videos, the 100th episode, and thinking, how on earth am I going to edit all of them as well as record all of them in advance of the deadline, as well as doing a trailer because I don't want the FPL Affairs Swans differential video to be the 100th episode because I only do the introduction and then a brief sort of like what I think of it at the end. Anyway, where you can find us, how to get in touch, Gmail, by email, lowercase, no characters or anything like that, fplaffairs@gmail.com. Twitter, our handle, FPL Affairs with FPL and A, all capital letters. That's on x.com. Facebook group, search for our group name, FPL Affairs, or search our YouTube channel description, which should have a link to it. YouTube handle, which you may well be aware of from where you're viewing this. is at FPL Affairs, and do remember to actually put the @ symbol, because I remember it took me quite a while, even after we'd done multiple episodes, that I'd search YouTube and I'd panic and go into crazy stations and meltdown thinking everything we've done had disappeared. And then I just realized, right, if I put the @ in, they are all still there. And then the link to Spotify as well in the description. So, bringing this team selection containing 2 wildcard drafts that are, I didn't actually count how many. I'm going to briefly skip back and see how many players different there are between mine and Kieran's. Goalkeepers are the same. Defenders, 1, 2, 3 defenders are different. 3 midfielders are different. I think 1, 2, yeah, 3 midfielders different.
Oh,
So that's 6, and 1 forward line 7. So seven out of the 8 are different, surprisingly,
yeah, I'm surprised
but
by that. I thought it'd be like 3 or 4.
being refreshing. But we'll see which of us sticks with our guns, or whether we'll both cave and go more template. All right, final thoughts. We've got less than a minute.
Uh, Good luck, everyone. It's been another exciting week, I think. We've had a lot of people wildcard in, and I'm sticking faith with my team. So hopefully, everyone's winners and
Mm,
green arrows.
green arrows. Fingers crossed, and especially for
Yeah, no more
wildcard.
reds.
Mm. So all that's left to say is keep your FPL affairs under wraps until Saturday morning's deadline at 11. Bye bye. Oh, quite an abrupt ending. Did forget to say, let us know what your plans are. Wildcard, triple captain. We'll speak soon, and looking forward to making that episode 100 special. Bye bye.